It was Friday, and it was summer. All the local teens were down at the beach, so the place was buzzing with the dance and surfing competitions. Tina was driving to the beach. She wanted that surfing trophy. She knew she had the skills. She knew she could win. Before she parked, she noticed off to the distance, away from the teens, there were cars on the beach and people in what looked like scientific gear. Weird, she said out loud as she passed, heading for the car park. She got out of her car and got her surfboard, and boom, there he was, Alan, Tina's rival. Alan was standing next to his car, the same as Tina's, only from this year. Alan smiled as he chewed his gum, looking at Tina. Tina didn't want to give him the satisfaction of seeing her get upset, so she walked by. She wasn't going to let Alan get to her. She wasn't going to get annoyed. She was here to win. Bruce and Karen were already there. Bruce was Tina's next door neighbour, and Tina had a crush on him, but she was a bit too shy to say anything to him. Little did she know, Bruce felt the same and, like her, was too shy to say anything. Karen was first to say hello to Tina. They were all in the same classes together. Karen asked if Tina was ready for the surf competition. She said how she was. Then the scientist caught her eye again. "What were you doing over there?" she asked out loud. Bruce told her how his father, Chris, and some other scientists had made some kind of discovery over there. Something boring, no doubt, Bruce said before he awkwardly laughed. Karen said she wanted to go to the lockers to get her dance shoes. Karen was entering the dance contest later. They all began to walk towards the lockers, with Tina taking another look at the scientists before joining them. Chris said to another scientist how their findings were remarkable. The other scientist agreed and said how it could mean a whole new species they had no record of. They were taking photographs of strange large eggshells. The egg seemed to have cracked open a few years ago. The shell was found in a small underwater cave the day before, but this egg was unlike anything they'd seen before. It was large, but there were also no sign of other eggs. There were a few theories, but nothing concrete. Chris saw webbed footprints in the sand close to the cave, but of course that would just be people wearing swim fins. He laughed at what he thought at first, but then he put his hand to his chin and looked back at the large eggshell. Karen had left Tina and Bruce to get drinks for everyone. As she stood waiting to be served, she felt like someone was watching her. She looked around and couldn't see anyone, but cold-blooded eyes were locked onto her. The inhuman shape disappeared back into the water. A little later, it was getting close to the competitions. Tina and Bruce were waxing their boards, getting them ready. Suddenly, Bruce screamed. Tina asked what was wrong. Bruce just pointed, unable to speak. Standing on the beach was a strange sea monster. It was humanoid, but scaly, and had tentacles emerging from its back. It moved slowly, almost like it was scared. Tina was terrified, as was Bruce. The monster made its way closer. Bruce held up his surfboard as a kind of weapon, but the monster's tentacles lashed out and grabbed the board from Bruce. There was a strange standoff, the two humans and the monster, each party waiting for what the next move would be. When suddenly, the monster took off. Bruce stood there for a moment, then yelled, "My surfboard! That thing took it!" Tina and Bruce ran after it, but it was too far ahead and ran into caves nearby. "What was that thing?" asked Tina. Bruce was just as stunned. Tina looked at Bruce and suddenly remembered his father. Maybe Chris would know something. They took off in search of the scientist. Soon they found him and told him what had happened. Chris couldn't believe it. He had been right. He told them the caves the scientists were investigating were actually linked to the caves the monster ran into. And so, Tina, Bruce, and a team of scientists all led an expedition to find the monster and get Bruce's surfboard back. But if everyone was being honest, that was the last thing on their minds. That or the competition. Karen was standing against the wall looking out over the beach for Tina and Bruce. The dance competition would be soon, and she wanted her friends to be there cheering her on. Strange eyes watched Karen, eyes from the water, with it once again sinking beneath the waves. Tina, Bruce, Chris, and the scientists explored the caves. They weren't long, but they were winding. Chris warned it was easy to get lost. Then they found it. The home of the monster. The scientists were buzzing with excitement. They found its bed. Then Chris found something shocking. A TV DVD combo. Wow, said Chris. A TV DVD combo. That takes me back. Hey, wasn't this what they were stealing in that first Fast and the Furious film? Chris trailed off. The other scientists couldn't believe it. Tina then spotted a DVD box open. It was a film about a big dance contest. Tina gasped. The thing! It's going to attack people on the beach! It's going to attack people at the dance contest! They all ran back out of the cave the way they came in. And there it was, stalking from the shadows, the monster. It watched the dancers move and shake as the crowd cheered on. Tina, Bruce and the scientists arrived at the beach. They scanned the scene for the monster. Then Bruce spotted it. There it is, yelled Bruce, and it's got my surfboard. The monster, with the surfboard on its back, being held by its tentacles, made its way to the dance area. Everyone gasped, and a silence fell across the crowd in awe at what they were seeing. With the music still playing, it almost looked like it was dancing. The monster was actually dancing. Why, of course, said Chris, stroking his chin. It wanted to enter the dance competition. That's why it was walking over, and then you, Bruce, stopped it by holding up your board. Tina then realised it was almost time for the surf competition, but she doubted it would happen now, what with everyone being worried about the monster. Bruce pointed and told Tina to look. Everyone was dancing with the monster. Tina, Bruce and the scientists all joined in, and everyone had a great dance with the monster. But soon enough, it was time for the surf contest. Alan was back, this time ready to enter the contest with his surfboard in hand. He laughed at Tina and Bruce. Then, running towards them, was the monster, holding a new surfboard given to him after winning the dance contest. Karen later said she didn't mind not winning as she read in surf. Bruce was first. He got out in the water and got some amazing waves. He got a respectable 7 out of a possible 10. Alan was next. He sneered at the rest. The monster hissed and wiggled its tentacles at him. Alan went out and got an 8. Tina was next. She knew she had what it took. She went out on her board and got an incredible 10 out of 10. All her hard work had paid off. Alan was furious. Went off kicking sand. The monster was next. A being of the sea had the advantage. It put its flippers on the board, and while wiggling its tentacles, it got a mighty 8. While not winning, it was an amazing score for someone who had never surfed before in competition. Tina put her hand out to shake the monster's hand. The monster hissed. The monster was proud, though. It was now the most popular being at the beach. It hissed again as people raised it up in their arms and cheered. And that's our story. Chris and his scientist friends made all the papers with their discovery of the monster. The monster itself went on to have a brief career on stage as a dancer, but the waves called to it and returned to a life on the beach. Alan continued to be rude to Tina and her friends, but changed when he went to college. Karen went on to be the monster's agent while it was a dancer. She's still successful in that field. And Tina and Bruce? Well, eventually they got over their shyness and started to date. They would eventually get married with a ceremony on the beach. The monster ate the bouquet.